In this video I'm going to show you how to make a parallax effect in Adobe Muse. Now, a parallax effect is where you have all of your content on one long page. So when you go to plan view, what you'll see is that you just really have one page, but that page is very long. So in this case the page is about 3,200 pixels tall, so it's a really long page, and what you do is you split that page up into different sections as if you've got several pages in your website. So in this case it would be like, I want to have 4 pages, and all of those pages are going to be stacked below each other within one single page. And then when people click on my navigation buttons, it will scroll down to the correct section, giving this kind of parallax effect. Let's have a look at what it will look like when we preview in a browser. So here's my navigation menu up at the top here, and I've just given these button names section 2, section 3 to match up with these different sections. But basically this page here would contain your content for your home page, so it would contain your images and text that you wanted to appear on your home page. Then when you click to go to section 2, you can see you have this kind of scroll effect, and we can jump down to section 4, it scrolls through section 3, go all the way back to section 1, and it scrolls all the way back through. So it's just one big long web page that is split up into different sections, and these different sections actually represent different pages, it's just that they're all included in one page. So let's have a look at how you might make this kind of effect in Adobe Muse. So I'm just going to cancel Safari, and what we'll do is we'll just go to File and we'll just create a new page, I think. So we'll go to Plan and we'll just add in a new blank page, and I'll show you how we made this from scratch. So the first thing I want to do is I want to increase the size of the page. So I'm just going to scroll that all the way down here by grabbing that handle, and I'm going to go down to around about 3,200 pixels, because I'm going to want 4 pages and I want each page to be around about 800 pixels in terms of their height. So somewhere around about 3,200. I'm not too worried about getting it exact, but there we go, 3,200 pixels. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rectangle tool to draw out sections, and these sections are going to be the different elements of my page. So I'm going to use the rectangle, I'm going to click and draw that out, and I want it to cover the entire page. So I'm going to go right across the side, so it's going to be 100% width. So when you drag a rectangle and you go from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen, you end up with 100% width. That means that rectangle will resize itself to any screen width because it's now fitting to 100%. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go down here to the transform panel window because I need to make sure that the height is set to 800. So I'm just going to do that. So there's my 800 height, and I'm just going to fill that rectangle with some colour. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to choose like a light brown colour. Okay, so that's that done. And then I'm just going to do, with my selection tool, I'm just going to do a Command or Control C and a Command or Control V. So I'm just copying that rectangle. I'm going to go back in and change the colour again. Now I'm just using these colours to show you what the different sections are going to be. You'll actually add content to your pages. I can now grab that rectangle and I'm just going to move it down. So I'm just going to scroll down here and move it down, and then it will snap and be into place there. And then I'm just going to do a Control C and a Control V again. Let's change the colour again. So this time I'll go for a sort of a orangey colour so that you can see these different rectangles. And I'm just going to place that one down. So let's just grab it and drag it. So it keeps coming down. There we go. And if we just go back up a bit, we just want it to snap onto the bottom of that section, and then Command C, Command V for the final rectangle. Again, let's go and change the fill colour. This time we'll go for like a blue. There we go. So again, these colours and these sections are just to show you the different elements that we're going to be making. And I'm just going to drag that down. There we go. So we've got that right down there at the bottom. Okay, so those are my different sections, and now what I need to do is just quickly make a navigation menu to go with that. So I'm going to come here to the widgets library, and I'm going to go to menus, and I'm just going to drag out a horizontal menu. So I'm just going to grab that menu, and it's not going to be based on any kind of pages, it's going to be a manual menu, so I'm going to make it myself. I'm just going to close that down now and select it, and I know that I've got 4 sections. so I want 4 buttons, and then I'm just going to grab the whole menu and drag it all the way across so it sits at the top there. Get my type tool, and I'm just going to name this one section 1, and we'll name this one here section 2, section 3, section 4. We'll just make those a little bit bigger so that you can see them nice and clearly. So I'll just make those bigger. There we go, across the top there. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to set an anchor point. So this is how you get your buttons, each individual button, to link to a particular section. Is you need to set an anchor point at the top of each section. So to add an anchor, that's using this icon here. Let me just close down the widget library. So I'm just going to click here to place an anchor onto my page. So there we go, I've got my anchor, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one at the top here, and I'm going to call that section 1. So it's very important you name your anchors. Okay, it's saying there that there mustn't be any spaces. So I should have used an underscore, but I'm just going to close up the space and make that section 1. Got another anchor as well here, so I'm just going to come down and I'm just going to place that again at the top of this section, and I'm going to call that section 2 and click OK to there. I need to go down to my next section and again use the anchor point and place that in, and that will be section 3. And then finally in my last section I'm just going to say that this is going to be section 4 and click OK. Now I can use these navigation buttons to link to these different anchor points. So I've clicked on the section 1 button, and then I can go here to links where I've got hyperlinks, and then what you'll see is you'll see my different sections. Now you'll see that there's some links here because that was on the home page. That was the pre-built version that I showed you earlier. I need to make sure that I link to these ones. So it's going to go to section 1, section 2 will link to section 2, and section 3 will link to section 3, and section 4 will link to section 4. Okay, so let's do Command Shift E and preview in a browser so that we can see here. If I just scroll manually, what you'll see is the 4 different sections that we created, and then if I click on section 3 it should jump down to the 3rd section, which in this case is the orange one. Now the problem we've got at the moment is that the navigation bar disappears. So as we go down to a different section, our navigation menu just disappears up off the top of the page. So let's go back and fix that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pin this navigation menu. So that will fix it in place. What you can do is you can select your navigation menu like this, and then up here in the options bar you have this option to pin, and I want to pin it to the top and into the center. So that means it's now fixed in place, so it won't actually scroll and move off the top of the page because I've pinned it down. So let's do a Command Shift E again, and let's just have a look at how it looks now. So now when we go to the different sections, the navigation menu stays where we've pinned it to, and the different sections come up one by one. So that's how you can create a very simple parallax effect, where you can have this scroll through effect jumping through different sections of your web page. Remember, these pages would actually contain your content, so it's like an entire website but all on just one big long page, and that's the parallax effect.